Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to our nerdiest thing. Today we have a very special guest, author Lara Buckheit. Lara was born and raised on the Eastern Shore. She holds a bachelor's degree in communications from Wilmington University, is a 2021 WriteMentor Mentee, an avid writer and reader of Spice, and one time she met Taylor Swift's dad. Lara lives in Charlottesville, Virginia, with her husband, dog, and 13 houseplants named after fictional characters. She started writing at a very young age, mostly fan fiction, centered around women with swords and men with devilish grins, and she hasn't stopped since. She is the author of the new adult romantic fantasy novel, A Realm of Ash and Shadow. When not writing, Lara can be found drinking tea, hustling for her day job, reading from her endless TBR pile, or hanging out on her body confidence bookstagram. Welcome to the podcast, Lara.
Yay! Hey, thanks for having me.
I have to know how you knew that was Taylor Swift's dad.
I'm a stalker.
That'll do it.
I'm a Swiftie. And like he's always like in pictures and stuff, and you're just like, "Hey, Scott," and he's like, "Oh, hey," and then
Does he live where you live?
No, I was actually at the Reputation tour in 20, I don't know.
And he just like wanted to go to the water fountain, and you were like, "What's up, Scott?"
Yeah, like,
hang
I
out.
saw him. Yeah, we were on the floor, and I saw him, and we locked eyes, and I was like. And then I just start power walking toward him. I'm like, "What's up, Scott?" And then he gave me a guitar pick.
He gave you a guitar pick?
That's cool.
That is so cool.
I know. It's in my wallet.
Okay, does it have the Reputation logo or anything on it?
It does. It has Taylor's face.
Okay, I really need to see a picture of that, and I want to let everyone else that's listening see a picture too. We'll put it with the show. You'll send it to us.
Yeah, I will. I'll take a picture right after.
Because I don't know very many people that know Scott or got a guitar pick from him.
Well, now you do.
So we're just going to dive right in, right? So the nitty gritty. What are the names of your houseplants?
Okay. I was afraid that this was going to come up. So I had to write them all down because I knew if I didn't, I was going to blank. So do you want to know where they're from to what they're named after?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have Leif, who is named after a character in Rain. Usagi from Sailor Moon. Cedric, Cedric Diggory from Harry Potter. Sabrina. I know, rest in peace. But mine's alive and well.
I was about to ask if your plant was still alive. That's funny.
No, he's good. Sabrina, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Amryn from ACOTAR. Klaus from Vampire Diaries and the originals. Cheryl after Cheryl Blossom in Riverdale. Dean from Supernatural. That was one of my husband's picks.
That's also my pick.
Yeah. Eva, so Evangeline from the Once Upon a Broken Heart books from Stephanie Gerber. Rune from Crescent City.
Yes. That's my
Tyga.
number one book boyfriend.
I know. I have a candle of him. I love it. Tyga from another anime called Toradora. Ian, which is another one from my husband, who named it after Ian in Jurassic Park. And then Atreus from the God of War Ragnarok games. So
nice. Okay, so that was it. I thought it was going to be way worse than that. I thought you had 25 plants.
No, she said what, 13? Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's not even really that bad for a plant mom.
I know, and they're spread out throughout the apartment. So
right.
That is so cool. I love that. I have a brown thumb, so I kill everything.
I thought you were about to say you had a plant, and I was like, where?
She knows
I was about to call you on your bullshit.
Yeah, no, I actually do have one plant. It's a succulent that somebody gave me at the end of the school year, and it hasn't died yet.
I killed the succulent.
It's going to die. I'm not. I mean,
it's bad.
Can't. I'm
I'm good at keeping people alive. The children in my
Yeah,
home.
I've kept 3 kids alive and a husband, so that's
I
something,
think you guys
right?
are winning.
I kept myself alive, Okay, so tell us a little bit more about your journey to becoming an author.
Yeah. Okay. So it has been long, I feel. I started seriously writing what is now A Realm of Ash and Shadow back in 2017, 2018. Back then it was formerly known as Queen's Wrath. It was completely different, to be honest. It's not even the only thing that stayed the same were like character names and like the way people like the way the characters interacted.
Was that just through your editing process, or like what made you change all of that?
Probably like the harsh reality of querying like agents.
Mm-hmm.
They just did not seem to be connecting like with what it originally was, but I wasn't ready to like give up on Val's story. And I think I also just grew a lot as like a writer. So the first like iteration of A Robot in Shadow was really bad. Like looking back at earlier pages, I'm like, this is horrible.
I don't think any author thinks their first draft is good, though. Like, if your first draft was good, this wouldn't be so hard, right?
Yeah,
Everybody would do it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So that was it was a journey because like I rewrote it probably like 4 or 5 separate times with like different beginnings, different middles, different ends. Like there was always like one part of the ending that was always the same, but like a lot of it changed. And then I got it to a place, like I met some writer friends and stuff, like on Twitter, ended up getting like critique partners and beta readers and just like really honing my craft. And I ended up getting it to a place where I was like really happy with it. And I submitted it to WriteMentor and I ended up being picked, which was
cool.
That was insane to me,
awesome.
to be honest, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to be picked. But I was, which was nice. It was actually really validating too, because I feel like in the like writing and like author industry, you're just super rejected a lot. And so, and like everybody's like, oh yeah, it's okay, everybody's rejected, but like not everybody's validated. And like that validation just really was like, okay, so maybe that this is something, it could be something. And so I worked for like 3 months with my mentor and I got it to this kind of iteration. My mentor didn't really want me to lean too much into like the love triangle trope, but it was something that I was like really passionate about because it's something that I enjoy in books. And I was like, I'm not going to sacrifice this. So I ended up sticking to that. And now one of the love like triangle men is everybody's favorite character. So I'm glad I stuck to that.
Is it Gideon?
No, it's actually Vemdor.
Oh, really? See, I
Everybody
love
loves
Gideon,
him.
but I like a golden retriever, and he feels very golden retriever to me.
He is. Like, Gideon's definitely the golden retriever. But like with Vemdor, people are calling him like Devil Daddy. And I'm just like,
Oh, I can see that.
whatever.
I mean, he is hot.
That's like Azrael's shadow dad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I ended up working through that, tried querying it again with agents, didn't get any agent interest, and then tried to go like the small publisher route, got interest, then some like redacted stuff went down that I'm not like legally allowed to talk about.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
This has been a journey for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had a release in April that I can't talk about. And then I re-released it myself as a self-published book in May. And now I am happily a self-published author. And I think I will forever go that route unless I'm offered like big money because I only
Right.
trust myself at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like lately we've been hearing so many horror stories about pre-orders and working with specific companies, and so many people are starting to go the self-published route just because you can control literally everything that happens. But then that's so much harder, right? Because you're having to control every single thing that happens. But I've just been hearing a lot of horror stories lately from indie authors about things going wrong right before print.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal, and printer errors,
Right.
and stuff like that. But
well, I have to say, I don't know how you've bound and printed your current copy, but it is quite beautiful
It
and
is
sitting on my bookshelf.
lovely.
oh my gosh, thanks. It's just Amazon.
No, but the cover art is beautiful. Like it's
is.
beautiful and it's simple, but like gorgeous in its simplicity.
Now, I know some of the artists that you work with because when I ordered my book from you, you sent me all kinds of character art, which I really appreciated. So who did the art for your cover?
It was actually, her name is Lords from Diamond Book Covers.
Okay.
She is wonderful. I have actually already started working with her for book 2, and she just sent me sketches over the weekend. And I I was like living for it. I squealed. It was very giddy. So if you think you like book two's or book one's cover, book two is just it's gonna blow you out of the water.
Gosh,
Oh, can't wait.
I cannot wait. So maybe going a little bit more in your past, is there a certain book that you read either in your childhood or even more recently that inspired you to become an author?
I feel like it's really hard for me to like pinpoint a certain book that I was just like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do, because I feel like as a child I consumed a lot of media. So like, I was reading books, I was watching movies, I was watching TV, and I like would follow the storytelling in all of those. And so I just like I was like a big Buffy fan. Like I lived in front of a graveyard. I went out there and I was like pretending to be Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was like making spells out of like seasoning. It was a mess.
Please tell me you were making your own wooden stakes.
I was like woodworking.
I really wish
backyard.
you lived closer to us
I know,
so we could be best
seriously.
friends.
My parents' house that I grew up in is really close to a cemetery also. And I used to go like for jogs through the cemetery.
Yeah.
My family thinks I'm weird because every time we go
feel you.
somewhere, I'm like, let's go visit the cemeteries. Like,
There's some beautiful
that's
cemeteries.
all I wanted to do in Charleston. So.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love Charleston. I used to live there. So yeah, I lived in front of a graveyard. I was like obsessed with Buffy. It was like my whole identity. And then like when I was watching it, it was like when she was still kind of like all about Angel, but like you had already met Spike. And I was like, oh, I like him. And I was like, why doesn't she want him? And then I started writing fan fiction about it. And I think that was like the turning point for me where I was like, oh my gosh, wait, like this is so much fun being able to like take these characters and like write something. And then I started like making my own characters and like writing things. And it would never be anything that like I finished. So I think that's pretty much where I got like my inspiration to become like a storyteller. But if I had to pick like a book, probably Twilight. I think I was like reading Twilight in class and I was like, I could do this. I could publish a book like this.
I'm going to go. I mean, this is no offense to any other authors, but I'm going to go ahead and say that I like your book better.
Me too.
I'm just putting that out there. So, and we don't just give compliments to give compliments,
No,
but Edward Cullen's got nothing on you.
No. I mean, you already know that I love this book, and it's one of my, I mean, it's probably at this point sitting at the top spot of my 2023 reads. I love this book. I think it's something that it's very different. It's not something I've ever read before. And one thing I really, really love about it is we always love a female main character that's very sex positive and body positive. And we also tend to not like a young virginal stereotype. So what I loved about Val is, that she's young, but she's definitely got experience and she knows her way around her own body. Right. So tell us a little bit about your decision to make her sexually experienced and sex positive.
Yeah. So in high school, I had a friend who was very much like Val. She was very sex positive. She was like super sexually experienced. And like, I just admired her, like owning herself and like the way that she just knew who she was and what she wanted. And like, if there was a guy, she went after him and she had him and like, it was great. And then like, I also admired the way that like everybody who like slut shamed her for like just being like attuned to her body and her wants and her needs, she just didn't give a fuck. She was like, whatever, you can be sad and not be, living your life. And I'm going to be over here screwing this guy in a camper. And like, I would be inside camper, but on the other side, just like, why is this happening? like the whole time, I'm just like, to go through life with that kind of energy.
Yeah.
And so when I was writing Val, I was just like, I don't want her to be the girl that is slut shaming someone. I don't want her to be prude. I don't want her to be like this virginal, don't touch my no spot type shit, Yeah. Like I just wanted her to be like wholly and completely confident and just happy with herself and like her sex life. And I think it's kind of wild if people are like weird about like freshly 18-year-olds having sex. Like they're having sex at like 15 nowadays. Like, come on.
They were back in my day, too.
I know, me too. Like, I mean,
it's just you weren't allowed to say so. You know what I mean? And it's so funny. We were talking about this the other day. I feel like that book talk in particular has created this like resurgence of sexual confidence in women, because what it has done is brought all these women online that have always been reading these things and always talking about these things with their girlfriends. And then they were like, oh, wait, you do that too? And you also do that? And wait, this whole group does that? And so I think it's really great for sex positivity. And a lot of women are just like, yeah, we like sex. It's really fun.
Yeah. And that's like, I think that's another thing with Val that I really like is like, sex can just be fun. It doesn't have to have like strings and stuff attached. Like, and I feel like it's unfair for women to have to be like wholly in love with someone or like in a relationship for them to be able to get laid. Like, that's not Val. Like, she'll do what she wants. She'll do who she wants. And like, she's not going to have to be in a relationship to do that. And it's like, it's kind of wild. So like in Around the Fashion Shadow, Val kisses probably like 4 guys, but she only has sex with one of them, like on page. And not everybody, but a lot of people, a lot of readers were like, oh, she's like so slutty. Like, she just throws herself at any guy. And I'm like, you mean to tell me if you were an 18-year-old girl and you went to this magical realm, you wouldn't be trying to make out with all these hot guys? Like,
that want you. If somebody, at that, when I was 18, if somebody wanted me like that,
they got
hell
kissed.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like I didn't. My sophomore year of college.
Like, I didn't
trying to make out with all the guys.
Exactly. And it's like, get over it. It's kissing.
Yeah.
Who cares? And even if it was more, who cares?
If you're consenting and like, you're in a safe space and it's adults, like, who cares?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, Val is, I think she's so great because she's so unapologetic about it. I feel like I'm talking about her like she's like in the next room, like my bestie.
She is. She is. She's in my next room on the other side of that wall. I'm sure she's in Laura's room right now.
Yeah, she's right here.
Yep.
So,
I told you.
So, talk a little bit about A Realm of Ash and Shadow. What would you like readers to know about it? And also, if you wouldn't mind, like talking a little bit about where you came up with the idea for these 4 realms. I love that one of the realms is the mortal realm, and then one of them kind of mimics the mortal realm in some ways. So talk a little bit about that if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. So Around the Fashion Shadow obviously follows Val, who is an 18-year-old exiled princess who was sent away from her realm for her own safety. So her realm is Empyrean. And so she was sent to the realm of the mortals, which is like our world. And she's like lived out her life there. So she's very mortal raised. She says things like guys, like she knows about texting, like she's very like with the times. And so when a horde of demons crash prom and she's like forced to go back to her realm, it's like a culture shock for her because she's like, holy shit, I'm going from like electricity to my maids running me a bath. Like, what is this? And so she has to deal with like a lot of character growth and like trying to come into who she is, like, because she doesn't really know, like, is she a mortal race princess or is she like what she needs to be for this realm? And so I got the idea from, I feel like it just came to me in like a dream, to be honest, because like I was thinking about how cool it would be if there was like a girl who became friends with a guy who could see things happening around them that other people couldn't. And I know that sounds a lot like the Mortal Instruments now that I think about it. But yeah, so that was like my idea. And then I was like, okay, but like where would that come from? And then I was like, okay, well, I really like Norse mythology and I really like Greek mythology. So how can I blend the two? And so I ended up making like these 4 realms. So the realm of the mortals, which is us, like our world. And then there's the realm of the divine, which is like heaven. The realm of the forsaken, which is like hell. And then the Empyrean, which is like a new realm that's supposed to protect the mortals from both the forsaken and the divine. And so, and the Empyrean is more like Asgard. And then like inside Empyrean, you have the Half-Light, which is more like Valhalla. And so I've just taken like a bunch of things. And then like, if you look at like the gateway, which is like a way to travel like portally, it's like the Bifrost from Norse mythology. And so, yeah, I just took like my favorite things. So like with Bestial, who is like the main god of Empyrean, he's a lot like Prometheus, who like gave fire to the mortals because he cared about the mortals. And then you have like the Hades type character, which is like Vemdor. And then in book 2, we explore more of the realm of the divine. So you're going to see like a lot of overlaps to like Zeus and like Frigg, like that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool.
I'm so excited about that. Another thing about Val is she has a craving for power, and I think that's your words. Are there other female main characters from other books that inspired you to have her be so strong and driven like that? Or is that just something that you knew from the beginning, this is how she's going to be?
I sort of knew all along that she was going to be like towing the line between really good, between good and bad. Because I feel like we all kind of do that. Like whether we are confident enough to say that, like some of us don't return the carts to the cart thing. Like you're towing the bad line at that point. Or, you know, some of us put away somebody else's cart. So you're more on the good side. And so I just wanted Val to be able to be like towing that line. And I really like the concept of feminine rage and how like men just hate women who are angry. And so I was like, how can I just make her like the angriest character who just is still like trying to do right by herself and not like, and then eventually other people. And so I would think that like characters that probably inspired her would be like Jude from The Cruel Prince or Selena from Throne of Glass.
Oh, those are both great.
I can definitely see both of those in her too. Yeah.
Maybe even like Daenerys, because she's a baddie.
Finally, do you listen to music when you write?
So I don't really listen to music when I write because I did for a while. I know I listened to like Folklore by Taylor Swift like on repeat when I was drafting this other book, and I just started to notice that like some of her lyricism was like coming through in like scenes that I was doing, and I was like, okay, I need to not do this. So I don't really listen to music when I write, but I do listen when I'm editing because I feel like it really gets me into like the mood. And so I make like separate playlists for each book. And so like on A Realm of Ash and Shadows, you'll have like Halsey. There's like, I think there's like one Selena Gomez song that I just like played on repeat. It actually made its way to the playlist for book 2 as well. I'm just obsessed with it. So probably like a lot of pop or like emo music.
Do you share your playlists for the books like with people, with your readers?
I haven't yet, but I think I should.
I think you should too. Yeah. Whenever, so one of the book boxes, they always have a playlist for like their theme of the month, and I love it. And it's not always what I would listen to, but I think it really helps set the mood for like the reader, right? So you at least kind of know the setting that you're getting into. So I personally would love to see your Spotify playlist for book 1.
Okay, I'll share it. Okay.
That sounds awesome.
Along with the guitar pick.
Right. Yes, please. So I think that we have a pretty good grasp of your fandoms because you talked about your houseplants already, and I heard some anime, I heard Sailor Moon, I heard Supernatural. You already said you like Buffy, but are there any other fandoms that you're a part of?
I'm obsessed like with the first season of Reign.
Mm-hmm. I'm obsessed with what that guy looks like. I'm not gonna lie. Good Lord.
Yeah. So I mean, I like Marvel. I might be more of a DC girly, even though the movies kind of suck.
I'm a Harley Quinn girl all the way. I love Harley Quinn. Did you watch Birds of Prey?
I did. I've seen like everything.
God, I love that movie. It is so fucking hilarious, and nobody watched it, I feel like.
Well, I watched it. You made me watch it, and I loved it.
Yeah, but nobody talked about it when it came out. It's too bad.
No, it's so good.
They're lost.
I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I have a very wide like taste because you know how like on the internet right now there's like the whole like Oppenheimer versus Barbie, and I'm like I'm seeing them back to back. Like, we're going in.
Yeah, exactly. Why can't we just mix the two? Yeah. It's completely fine. Okay, so we're going to go into 2 speed rounds. Our first one is the nerdy and dirty speed round, and I will tell you, every author struggles with the word speed because everybody wants to have super thought out answers, but we just want you to go, right? And then we're going to do book tropes, right? So our first one's going to be nerdy or dirty speed round. Are you ready?
I'm going to go real fast.
Okay, I can't wait. Last song you listen to.
Oh, If You Can't Hang by Sleeping with Sirens.
Okay, what fictional character do you have a crush on?
Jax.
Oh, I know, right? I love those books so much. I'm not a huge Caraval fan, but I love the prequel series. Okay, so what book series do you always recommend?
ACOTAR.
And what TV series should everyone watch?
Buffy.
Yeah. What book character would you get nerdy and dirty with?
What do you mean by that?
As much as you want.
What do you mean by that?
We're sex positive.
Well, let me pull out my list.
Do you have a list, really?
I mean,
You're asking that, and today, literally, we posted our to-do
I was
list.
going to say.
Right, we posted our to-do list on Instagram today.
oh my God. Okay, no, I'm going to change my answer. It's going to be like Ben Solo.
Okay. Yeah, I'm into that. Okay, so what food do you refuse to eat?
Anything alive.
That was alive or is like
Oh, that is currently alive. If I can feel it in my mouth, like crickets or like.
Oh, well, yeah. Who the hell wants to eat that? Yeah, I don't want to eat live things either. Yeah. Okay. Now, my next question is what superpower would you have? But now's mine is like zap everything that goes in my mouth because I'm thoroughly grossed out. But what superpower would you have?
Okay, I actually just had this conversation with like a Discord. Mind reading.
Ooh, awesome. What's your favorite weekend activity?
Doing nothing.
Right. Smut or plot?
Smut, but plot too.
Right.
Plot.
Just decide.
Little both.
Plot.
Like
I want plot.
I love that.
You need to trademark that as soon as possible. What's your favorite childhood book?
The Hunger Games.
What are you currently reading, or what's the last book that you finished and loved?
Oh, I just finished Love Theoretically, actually.
Oh yeah, how was it?
It was really good.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute. Yeah.
I like Love Hypothesis a lot, so I can't wait to read that one. Okay, since we're going in, we can think of supernatural. Cake or pie?
Cake. I'm gonna go cake.
Good, that's what I would say too. Okay, book tropes, yay or nay? Are you ready?
Yep.
Fated mates,
Yay.
enemies to lovers,
Yay.
forbidden love,
Yay.
the haves versus the have-nots,
Nay. I don't know what that is.
like class structure,
Oh. Nay. I don't care.
love triangles,
Yay.
secret or hidden identity,
Yay.
social commentary,
Nay.
true love's kiss or the magical power of love,
True Love's Kiss.
rejected mates,
Oh man. Only in certain instances.
touch them and die,
Yes.
who did this to you trope,
Always.
small town romance,
I like it in film. I don't know if I like it in books.
like Sweet Home Alabama type of stuff.
Yeah,
That's what I
like
always
Sweet
think
Home
of when I think
Alabama.
small town romance, sports romance.
No, I don't read that.
Yeah, that's Mindy's all-time
mine.
favorite because she.
I don't know if it's my all-time
She
favorite.
really, really likes to get pucked.
I
like
do.
a lot.
Can you give me a rec so I can try?
So, okay, yes. So I started with Helena Hunting's Pucked series. If it's very light but very spicy, and she's got great banter.
What did she call it? Plut. It's plut.
It's plut. It's definite plut. And then after that, I would go to Pucking Around by Emily Rath because it's a why choose. And it's all okay. So my sports romance is hockey because like I love hockey. I love to watch it and I follow it. So that's the only sports romance I read. So they're both hockey related, but they're both very, very good.
Okay. I like hockey, so that's fine.
Okay.
What are you writing next? You're working on the sequel, right?
Yeah. Yep. So I'm working on book 2 in a planned trilogy. I'm hoping to release book 2 by the end of November.
Of this year?
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yep, of
Okay.
this year. I know. I'm churning it out. And then book 3 will be out before Imaginarium next year. That's the plan.
Awesome. And you are signed up for Imaginarium? Oh,
I
great.
am.
Good. We are too. We just haven't announced it yet. Super excited.
And then once I finish this trilogy, I actually have this vampire fantasy romance that I've been dying to work on. I wrote like 50,000 of it, like 50,000 words back in last November for Nano. And it's about 2 sisters, one who is the chosen one and one who's meant to be her sacrifice. And it's like super spicy and I'm very excited.
Now, I have to know, does the sister deserve to be sacrificed?
No. So like essentially it's like one is a slayer and then one has to die for her to become the slayer. And so she like ends up becoming like this vampire hunter slayer type, like the one sister does, but then the other one ends up becoming a vampire.
Oh, I can't wait.
That sounds amazing.
All right. I'm ready for
Copyright.
vampire plot from you.
I'm on board.
Yeah, lots of plot.
Do you have any other events or festivals that you're going to this calendar year?
No, not this calendar year. I'm kind of tired, so I'm just gonna hunker down and write.
So Imaginarium next year.
Yep.
Everybody buy your tickets. So where can we buy your books?
Amazon. Yep, solely on Amazon. Paperback, ebook, and it's free on Kindle Unlimited.
That was my next question. I'm a huge KU fan. I think it's a really great way for people to meet new authors.
Yeah, it's low risk too because you're already paying for the monthly thing. So
Right.
try a chapter and
I'm like, well, if I read one book a month off of there, it pays for itself.
For
which
real.
I typically read several because there's so much great stuff on there.
So Lara, where can we find you online?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Lara on Fire, so Lara on Fire, and then I'm on TikTok and that's like at Lara on Fire Writes. Because some little 6-year-old had my handle.
Oh, that's too bad.
So at the end of all of our episodes, the three of us like to share what our nerdiest thing of the week was, which sometimes is book related, sometimes it's not. Just something that got us really excited that we could nerd out about. So we would love to hear what your nerdiest thing of the week is.
I just finished watching the first season of this anime called My Dress Up Darling, which is about like a little cosplay girl who wants to be a cosplayer, but she's really terrible at making outfits. And so she befriends the shy boy in her class, and he's so good at making outfits. So then he makes all of her cosplay outfits, and there's this little romance, and it's super cute.
That is so
That
cute.
adorable.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, Lara. It's been really fun to talk to you.